1021 Shaggy on your dial. Look at it while I'm in the notes. Yeah.
24 hours of the best Caribbean music. You're listening to WCPD,
the new 96.1
FM.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome. This is the Suzette Speaks Show live. Wagwan, wagwan. I'm so excited to be with you today. It's a beautiful Fire Friday. That's what we call it around here on Voice of the Caribbean. You know what that means. We got the best mixes, the best DJ. South Florida, stand up. We are ready to bring the vibe all day today. Of course, during the midday, we love to give you informative programs like my own. Yes, I'll put it out there. If you're new here, I am Suzette Speaks. I'm your hostess with the mostest, an attorney and community activist who loves to talk to people and connect with the community. Of course, I love to bring you information that you can use in your life and break down the news. And of course, we also have to touch on social media trends and what's going on in the world at large, trying to make sense of it all. You get me? So we're here talking with the people. I hope you're having a beautiful Friday. There's a lot of news to cover. Boy, last night we saw an incredible show of force by the Israeli government. Now, if you are not paying attention to news, this is something that you definitely should know. The Israeli government has attacked Iran, right? There was over 100 targets around Iran's capital, Tehran, military bases, you name it. And the strikes caught, well, many around the world off guard. When we looked at what is happening in the Middle Eastern region, we are now on guard yet again because of this unforeseen act by Israel's government. So looking at what happened, let me break it down for those of you who are just joining me. I'm just breaking down some headlines. We talked about a flight from India to London yesterday. I know I'd mentioned that. And for those who have been following that story, can you imagine that there was one lone survivor of that horrific plane crash? I know I'm bouncing around a little bit, but we have a lot of news to cover. So I want to talk about that harrowing testimony by one sole survivor of the Air India crash yesterday that unfortunately, after takeoff, within 1 minute, that plane crashed into a medical school in India, not only killing 240 passengers, as well as several of the medical students staying in the medical hostel on the ground where the airplane unfortunately collided right after takeoff. So looking at that story, what would you do if you were the only person to be able to walk away from a plane crash and the gentleman's injuries are not life-threatening? It's really kind of crazy to think about, but I want to talk about that scenario. And there was also a woman who was supposed to be on that Air India flight yesterday morning that unfortunately came down within 60 seconds after takeoff. And there was a lady who was supposed to be on that flight who missed her flight. So can you imagine your feelings, your emotions, if you were supposed to be on this faithful flight where unfortunately so many souls lost their lives? First of all, we want to talk about that one survivor, and we want to talk about the lady who missed her flight on the Air India tragedy. But the top headline news that we must inform you about is what's going on in the Middle East. And I know there are folks that follow what's happening in the news that listen to me, and I love my well-informed listeners, but I don't know, there's a lot of people who don't follow news, and when they tune in here on Voice of the Caribbean on the Suzette Speaks Show, they want to get the news. So I'm going to do a little bit of heavy lifting, and I'm going to go back a little bit into some of the background for those who need it. I also want to talk about what's happening in California. Yes, we are still seeing protests around the country against ICE, the Immigration Customs Enforcement Agency, and their aggressive tactics from Los Angeles to Spokane, Washington, to Chicago, to right here in South Florida. Listen, they're lining up. They told me. I got a couple text messages this morning. I'm not telling you to go. But South Florida, Miami Beach, listen, there are some people that are trying to gather peacefully. I'm going to emphasize that, peacefully, in order to let their voices be heard. Now, we saw a scene on top of what I want to talk to you about, what's going on between Israel and Iran. It matters, guys, because there are people who are speculating how this conflict can bring the United States into it. And if they do bring the United States into it, we got a bigger worldwide issue going on. I don't want to be the predictor of bad news, but we have to pay attention to it because of all of the international relations that go into this conflict. Again, the No Kings, that's what they're calling it. Thank you, Pastor Damon Blissett. I can count on him. He's always listening. Thank you, Pastor Damon. And they're calling it the No Kings protest that's going to take place tomorrow. I think I heard someone said in Fort Lauderdale it was on Sunrise Boulevard and A1A. And you can look online. You can look on Eventbrite if you're into the political scene here in South Florida. I'm sure Miami also has their protests that are going to be called the No Kings protest. That's tomorrow. Why are they calling it No Kings? Why do you think they're calling it No Kings? Well, I'll enlighten you a little bit. President Donald Trump's birthday is tomorrow, right? That's Saturday, June 14th. First of all, did you guys realize it's Friday the 13th? I don't believe in superstition. I love Jesus. I don't believe in it. But there is a lot of us who are like, ooh, it's Friday the 13th. Ooh, be careful. Nah, man, we're bunda. We don't believe in that. We believe in unity. We believe in love. And we believe in a spirit of what can I call it? Resurrection. I don't need to be worried about bad luck. Amen, somebody. So when I look at the headlines, the other thing I really do want to, on a serious note, cover is when it comes to No King's Day tomorrow, I was telling you that President Donald Trump's birthday is tomorrow, and he is planning an unprecedented military parade in the middle of Washington, D.C. I'm talking about complete with military tanks. Now, tanks are not built to go on regular city roads and stuff. He's about to tear up downtown Washington, D.C. by trying to bring in rocket launchers and tanks and things of that nature. Heavy duty military equipment. They say it had to be shipped and trucked from all over the country, different military bases, to show the United States' military might. That's what they're saying. And celebrating the anniversary of the birth of the United States Armed Forces. This is what the basic explanation that is being given to us by the Trump administration. This is not for his birthday, even though it happened to land on his birthday. Somebody with me? It happens to land on Mr. Trump's birthday tomorrow. And many are saying that it is reminiscent of some unorthodox and very, very unsettling regimes around the world who use military might to enforce their own personal agenda and their way of intimidating their citizens. Now, I'm not saying that's what Donald Trump is doing here, but there are people who are looking at it. A lot of political commentators, people in leadership are looking at this parade. That's what they call it, on Donald Trump's birthday. Are y'all gonna be watching the parade tomorrow? I'm not watching the parade. I guess I have to watch a piece of it so I can cover it here on the Voice of the Caribbean on the Suzette Show Live. But there are a lot of people that won't be going to this parade because of the principle, because the United States government is supposed to have a separation between the civilian government, that's everyday people, and the military. Now, the military is supposed to listen to and follow the commands of the commander-in-chief, but it is not his personal army. It is an army to protect the people, for the people, by the people, and it is not an extension to be used by the government against its own people. Are you with me? Come on with me. So I won't be watching because I do not like the optics of what it seems to be portraying, which is a United States president parading our armed forces. Now, this is a multi-million-dollar parade, y'all. Millions of dollars. I think they said over $30 million to get this parade together and put it together. Now, I'm asking myself, now they just had Elon Musk, Mr. Doge himself. Trump put him out. They still arguing. Y'all know if they still arguing on Twitter? I don't know if they still arguing. Somebody tell me if they still arguing. Mr. Trump fell out with his BFF. Elon Musk and Mr. Trump was not feeling each other over the last week. I thought they was buddies. They're not buddies anymore, apparently. And now Elon Musk has turned the corner. And he has now apologized to Mr. Trump. He went too far. I went too far. Why? Because he have so much money wrapped up into the United States government. Somebody is with me. You know what? It's Friday. I don't want to heat it up too much in here. Let me give y'all the phone number. If y'all want to comment on any of the topics I'm raising here, come on, call me. 850-446-0562. Suzette Speak Show Live is hot in the studio, y'all. I'm feeling some type of way. because we have a military parade taking place in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Others are calling it No King's Day. Because the last thing I remember in American history, this great country was founded in freedom. However, there's some people that say Mr. Trump is kind of moving shaky. Moving shaky. That's how the island people call it. But they kind of move kind of shaky. As if he were a king. Now, I'm not saying he thinks he's a king, but he's been pushing the envelope of executive power lately. The more the courts tell him no, the more he pushes. The man we were talking about on this show for so long, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man who was in the United States seeking lawful residence and asylum, who was granted reprieve. He was allowed to stay while his case was being heard. And remember him? He was shipped off to the most dangerous prison in the Western Hemisphere, I.C.E, right? And the court had told the Trump administration, don't bring him back. They sent him over there anyway without a hearing, like they're doing to so many people. Anyway, ignoring courts. That's what it looked like. Well, they finally brought him back, y'all. But guess what they did? They immediately arrested Mr. Abrego Garcia. Some would say on trumped up, no pun intended, trumped up charges. Mr. Abrego Garcia is now sitting in a federal jail, being charged with human trafficking because of a traffic stop. He looked like he was with some day laborers and some workers. Again, it is all speculation. I don't know for sure, but based on the video I saw, allegedly, looking like how we have here in South Florida. South Florida, we know about vans full of people going to work on construction sites, going to be day laborers. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but we're going to speak the truth. Now, they had a grand jury come together and now charging Mr. Abrego Garcia, who was the symbol of the Trump administration's aggressive tactics when it comes to immigrants and migrants to this country, of which there are millions who are here. But now he is arrested. Well, y'all, will you be watching the military parade? Well, on this note, I also want to bring up, I only have an hour, y'all, so I gotta move quick. Y'all gotta stay with me. Right and left. Right punch, left punch. Let's go. The other thing I want to bring out about the No King's Day protest that is going to be observed tomorrow on Trump's birthday, on Trump's military parade day, is a scene that unfolded yesterday in Los Angeles when the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, that's her name. She's the one, you might hear her on commercials on the radio, not on this station, but you might hear her on television commercials. She's been playing a lot of commercials. Under the Trump administration, illegal people will be, people cannot be illegal. Their status is illegal, but words matter to me. I'm an attorney. Words matter. So people are going to be illegal. And if you get out now, you may have a chance to come back and enjoy the freedoms of our country. But if you don't, we will come for you. And she's the one that's always dressed up in the top hat, the little DHS hat, the ICE vest. You know they got to have the theatrics. They don't have on the vest. They're going to have on the coat. Well, she showed up for a press conference yesterday in Los Angeles. And the sitting United States Senator, you got to remember, and again, I go back a little bit to go forward because some of my audience is very highly educated and other people in my audience are learning. So please bear with me. I'm trying to rock with both. Everybody matters in the Suzette Speaks Show Live. Let's go. So you guys understand how the government in the United States works, right? We have an executive branch, a judiciary branch, and a legislative branch. There are 3 branches of government. Now, they're supposed to be equal. The way we put it is they're co-equal. And you have a president, right, that's supposed to enforce the law, the legislative branch, which is Congress, remember, the United States Senate, and the United States House of Representatives. Remember, the House of Representatives is a larger body. Those are elected by population size. 435 people are in the House of Representatives, and they are divided. There are some states that have way more and some states that have less because of population. They have equal sized districts. Now, on the other side of the legislative branch is the United States Senate. That is the more powerful body. That is 100 individuals, 100, 2 per state. That makes the small states with lesser population equal to the large states that have the bigger populations. The bigger populations reside in our country on the coasts. right on the East Coast, West Coast, from New York, come on down, and all the way California. That's what they got a problem with. So there's a lot of populations on the coast, but the Senate helps to equalize that because every single state has 2 members. Well, one of the 2 members of the California Senate delegation, during a hearing yesterday, a press conference yesterday, that Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security secretary appointed by Trump to lead the Department of Homeland Security, had a press conference in order to give people an idea about what's going on when it comes to the Department of Homeland Security. And a United States Senator, one of those 100, named Alex Padilla. Alex Padilla has an incredible story. You can look it up. This man was from the ground, from the dirt, they say, as we say in South Florida. Came up and went to one of the best schools in the country and gave up a very lucrative career to serve his people in the United States Senate. Well, at this press conference, Alex Padilla, who was moved he is one of 3 children of Mexican parentage, who moved to Los Angeles when he was born, graduated from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, smart man, and was a part of several fellows programs. He's an engineer by training. Nonetheless, he has given up that lucrative career to serve as one of the 100 United States senators from California. Well, I have to play this after the break. I have to play what went down. Because during the press conference of the Secretary of Homeland Security, which represents the executive branch, that is Mr. Trump and his cabinet, he has the right to appoint people at the head of the enforcement agencies that are supposed to, again, work on behalf of the American people. So she is the head of Department of Homeland Security. She had a press conference going on. Mr. Padilla, the senator from California, stepped up to listen, went into the press conference to listen, started to object to what she was saying and asked her a question about it, and the way the man was manhandled, taken out of the room by federal law enforcement, backed up. This man is not a little man. This man is a big-bodied man, tall guy, big husky guy. Started to ask her, what are you doing and why are you doing these type of tactics, picking up people at their children's graduation ceremonies, elementary school graduations, at the Home Depots. And I'm talking about manhandled him, the United States Senator, out of the room, push up. Now I looked at it, I say, Lord, what am I watching? It gave me goosebumps. Man, I gotta take a break, y'all. Anyway, they wrestle him outside, they push him down to the ground, put him on his stomach, put him in handcuffs. And this is the United States Senator. And I asked myself, if they can do this to a United States Senator whose job it is to oversee the other branches of government and what the agencies are doing, he was asking Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, what you really doing out here? And the response was to rough him up and had him on the ground face down, y'all, in handcuffs. He was not arrested. He was detained. He wasn't detained. He was later released. But my question to you is, if they could do that to the senator, what they got in store for us, the American people, the little guys? I'm not nobody. I'm a little guy. I'm going to have to play you some of that clip after the break. This is the Suzette Speak Show. Y'all can call in and let me know how you feel about today's topics. 850-446-0562. Get you right in touch. 850-446-0562. Get you right in touch. You got to listen. I got to take a quick break. We're going to go back to No King's Day. I want to talk to you about what happened between Israel and Iran yesterday. There were strikes, military strikes on nuclear sites in Tehran, in other cities, in Iran. This looks kind of shaky, y'all. But we got to take a quick pause for the cause. More Suzette Speak Show right after this.
Voice the voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
This is Mikey Mike from the Voice of the Caribbean. For over the last 30 years, personal injury lawyer Samuel Otinsky have been helping the Florida clients with personal injury, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, negligence, security, wrongful death, and sexual abuse cases. We know it is impossible to go longer than 5 minutes before you hear a commercial from another personal injury lawyer. I am here today to tell you there's a difference in who you choose to represent you in your personal injury case. Experience and client service matters when it comes to choosing your personal injury lawyer. When you call Samuel Otinsky on his personal...
Hey guys, give me one quick second. I do hear music in the background.
Or text him day or night on his cell phone at 954-995-3805. 954-995-3805.
Okay.
And if he can't answer,
I hear music playing in the background. Let me go get my station manager real quick to fix it.
For over 30 years, Samuel Otinsky have been helping Florida clients with
This one is loud.
workers' compensation,
Somebody was using some loud headphones.
security, wrongful death,
All right,
and
pause
sexual
me.
abuse
I'm
cases.
coming right back.
Don't make the mistake
I'm
of
going
calling the
to
wrong
see if they hear the music. Okay, I'll be right back. Thank you.
For more information, 954-995-3805. 954-995-3805. It's Raytown Wednesday. Each and every Wednesday starting this Wednesday, June the 4th. Alternate 80 Northwest, 180 Cherry Street in Miami. Music by DJ Mikey Mike, JJ Whistle, Richie Manta, and more. Every Wednesday is a special guest DJ. Tell a friend. You grandma, your auntie, your uncle, your nephew, everybody to the party tonight. It's a Raytown City. This is sponsored by Voice of the Caribbean and Just a Fix. Thanks for your support. Get ready for the biggest Caribbean music festival in history.
Okay, we did it. We did it. We did it. Sorry for the break. Y'all know I gotta take me a break. I have to be... The headphones loud? Okay, thank you. But I think on the radio, I think my station manager just cut it. There's another feed. Let me actually find Mr. Padilla's... Oops. Is this on? Yes. Okay, let me find Mr. Padilla's press conference sound to give to the people so they can hear it for themselves. Any other topics y'all think I should bring up on the YouTube side? I saw a question. Hey, Stephanie. I am wondering why reports are noting that Senator Padilla did not identify himself. That doesn't even matter. He did identify himself. Yes, he did. Was supposed to be dead. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did. Wait. Sorry. He did say, get me excited. No, don't move. Oh my goodness. I changed the angle, but it's fine. LSC, I'm sorry. How are you? Okay. Good afternoon, Smooth Approach. How are you? All right. Let me find Padilla arrest audio. Padilla and Noem. Shout out to everybody watching. That man was roughed up. It really made me upset when I saw it. Let me see. Let me play the whole thing. I hope there is no YouTube commercial you can hear. Okay. All right, I have that queued. Is there anything else I should be talking about? I saw someone said that Roland was talking about it too. Yes, he should be. I'm trying a different angle here. I wanted to talk about Iran. Got about 2 minutes more of commercials, so I got a little time. How's everybody's Friday doing? Happy Father's Day. Let me say that because they was mad with me yesterday that I called out Juneteenth and everything else, and I didn't call out fathers. We'll do that as soon as I get back. Yeah, it's mango. It's mango season. I need to say that too, because baby, I've been on some mangoes. It's ruining my diet. I've been eating mangoes. I had 2 yesterday. We got some in the office right now. The AC in here, it really is a different. I don't know. The studio itself can get really hot because of all the equipment, but the AC also wants to right in the middle of my show. I don't know if they have it preset on a timer, but at 1:30, it like shoots up to 78, and I feel like I'm gonna like fry. So I have to be going out there. My hair is on the side looking crazy. Sorry. And so Father's Day, let me write my little list. Father's Day. What else I say? Mango season. Father's Day, mango season. Sorry. sorry. Father's Day, mango season. I was trying to get my angle right on my clothes, so my clothes look proper. I'm taping with another camera up here. It's cute. I like this angle and it's flattering, but I don't like how my boob looked. Sorry, but that's enough. Okay, sorry. I have to be so. Hey, Garnell, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for watching. Ashley, what's going on? Thank you. I appreciate you. Let me see. Who else? Madison, the word riots bothers me because it's not really riots. As Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, keeps saying, it's like 5 square blocks, less than a square mile of the county of the city, which is 520 something square miles. So it's a very small portion. I think with the curfew, she's been locking it down, and I don't think the military is needed. That's what I think is causing a little bit more complication. So let me play the Padilla. Hopefully YouTube do not embarrass me when I come on. Let me see, no callers. I got about, maybe a minute and a half, not even. And I gotta press record while I'm doing it. I hope everybody's having fun. Mango season, Father's Day. And then what else I said? I do want to go over what's going on. I'm not as in depth reviewing what is going on in Israel. I really want to talk about the Padilla. Let me find a Padilla story real quick. Boom, bam, bam. Let me find a Padilla AP News story. What are we doing? AP News. Let's do Alex Padilla. Yeah, I'm feeling a little hot today. I'm feeling the spirit. Yes, thank you, Dave. Yes, Father's Day mango season. AP News. What did I say? Padilla. Let's do it because I think people need to know about it. We're a minute out.
Sunday almost
But I be trying not to play it. Ooh, because definitely Bob Marley will give you a copyright strike. I'm still in copyright strike Armageddon or purgatory. AP is going to give me the best, I think. That's fine. Padilla, yep. Los Angeles, United States Senator Thursday was forced to remove the Secret Service. Yeah, it was Secret Service. I wasn't sure if it was FBI or who, but it was Secret Service. On Noem security detail. Okay, I'm gonna definitely talk about that. And Juneteenth, I'm gonna be speaking at an event, so I want to around Israel. Yes, thank you, ma'am. And that's it. Okay, let me move this over to where I'll find it easy. Pop that out. And then boom, bam, bam. Israel strikes. Okay, this is from The Guardian. It's a little bit complicated this way. This one is reading. Let me just put Israel strikes AP. Israel strikes AP. Those are normally cleaner, quicker, concise stories. Do we have an independent Yahoo? No, anybody look at Yahoo? AP Israel strikes at least 85. Ooh, in Gaza, Israel. No, this can't be right. Is this current? No. Israel strikes Iran. Goodness gracious. Israel strikes Iran. Let's do it. And I got 30 seconds. Let's go. I guess Reuters. I didn't even get back to the guy with the surviving the surviving one survivor plane crash. I don't even have time to go back to that. Air India says trouble. New York Times. All right, let's do it.
Them with about them leg, you must mad, we couldn't do that. Foundation from birth, yeah man, a low culture. Say, we're representing for the voice of the Caribbean, Jamaica and far beyond.
24 hours of the best Caribbean music. You're listening to WZPP.
The new 96.1
FM.
Yo, it's Shuggy. It's Voice of Caribbean. 102.1 Shuggy on your dial. Look at it while I'm in the notes. Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome. It's Suzette Speaks back on your radio. Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy Fire Friday. That's what we call it here on Voice of the Caribbean. I'm here for you, by you, with you. Listen, we've been talking news and there's a lot going on right now, so I gotta hop to it. If you're just joining me, welcome. I love my fantastic audience, both online and if you're listening in your car or on your radio at home or wherever on the app. You guys know we do have an app on the App Store, so you can always download it and take us with you wherever you go. You know, you can find Voice of the Caribbean in the city throughout South Florida. What's up, Fort Lauderdale, listening on 92.7 FM, Hollywood, North Miami, 96.1 FM, and of course, all of Miami, 94.3 FM. Wagwan, wagwan. Yes, we have so much news to cover, and as I was saying right before the break, I wanted to cover a particular story. First of all, shout out to everybody that's going to be celebrating Father's Day. Yes, let me say it first and foremost before I forget. I got to give a shout out to the Father's Day celebrations that will be taking places in our homes around the city. We appreciate you. There are some great programs going on in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, so make sure you check something out or be good to your daddy. Listen, fathers want to see their kids. Hello, somebody for Father's Day, and they want love and appreciation. So make sure you take some time out to say, Daddy, I love you. Daddy, I appreciate you, and recognize them this Father's Day. I also wanted to say shout out to mango season. Listen, if you are a mango gal like me, I love my mangoes, okay? I have been eating mangoes. It has been ruining my diet. But shout out to who brought back by mangoes yesterday to the studio. Had me on cloud 9, the sweetest, the juiciest. And yes, I ate 2 of them yesterday. Don't judge. Don't judge me. Okay, don't judge me. I enjoy mangoes. I'm going to try to handle them in moderation going forward. But it's only one time a year, right? So nobody's watching, and I don't think those calories count. So we're going to be fine. Okay, so moving on to more serious news. As I was saying right before the break, at a press conference yesterday that was held in Los Angeles by Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem went left, right? Not left as in more liberal, but like sideways is what I mean by that. One of the attendees of this press conference was a United States senator, as I broke down who the senators are, and they are a body of 100 people, 2 per every state in the United States, right? So they are a very powerful body that helps write and create and pass laws, right? The House of Representatives is the other side of the aisle, the other side of the legislative branch, but the Senate holds a lot of weight. So in California yesterday, during a press conference that is related to the protests that have been going on in LA. Now, I'm not going to use the word riots because I see my friends and family online saying, you know, what do you think about the riots? There are no riots. There are peaceful protests and also some agitating protests that are going on. You got knuckleheads and you got people that see an opportunity that want to stir it up. But the majority of the protesters are people who have the right to assemble based on the Constitution of the United States of America. We have to understand that going out there and letting your voice be heard, even if it's in opposition of what is happening in your government, is a sacred American right that should be protected. And when you're seeing the militarization, I didn't even get to talk about the court case that just came down with President Trump, who took over the state of California's National Guard, claiming there was enough of an emergency for the federal government, against the wishes of almost every elected official in the state of California, took the reins of the National Guard in order to send troops onto American streets to protect. Who are they protecting? The federal buildings or to protect the American? Who are they protecting? Now, according to news conferences this week held by the press secretary for the White House, she said it was to protect federal employees, federal buildings, and to keep things safe. That's what she said. But we as Americans have to be reminded that it is enshrined. It has been written for over 200 odd years in the Constitution by our visionary founders that they left a country in England at the time. We were talking about the 1770s. Hey, we're taking it back, 1776. When they left England because they were tired of a king who was seen as God at that time, the king, and whatever he said and whatever he wanted done had to be done because he was seen as an extension of God himself. He could do whatever he want. He could kill his enemies. He could make a religion for the whole country. He could take a religion for the whole country. Many of the folks who first came to the United States, remember, we're a country of migrants. Let me just remind y'all, whether it's one generation ago or how many could it be? Like 25 generations ago? Everybody found themselves here from some sort of pattern of migration. Our African American brothers and sisters, who we will celebrate on next Thursday during the celebration of Juneteenth. I'm so grateful I'll be speaking at the Haitian American Democratic Club's Juneteenth meeting and celebration. I thank you so much for entrusting me with being able to speak from an immigrant's perspective, the daughter of Jamaican immigrants, about how important it is to recognize the struggle, the fight, the resilience of our African American brothers and sisters who paved the way for us as immigrants, particularly immigrants of color, to be here, to be free enough to also experience. Is it still an American dream to try to experience what we thought was the American dream? So we will take time out next week, Thursday, as we celebrate Juneteenth. As you start to look at your calendars, there are going to be Juneteenth events in and around South Florida, in and around the city, starting tomorrow all the way through next weekend. There is plenty of time for you to figure out how you're going to observe this amazing and also historically significant time of year. Now, they want us to commercialize it. I know they want you to buy a t-shirt. And I see you. You're not free to break the law, but you are free to assemble. I see you online. It's me. That's the name you use online. I am free to peaceably assemble. I am free to peaceably assemble. That is my First Amendment right. That's why we came to the country, our forefathers did, because they were not free to assemble back in England. They had to do whatever the king wanted, whenever the king wanted it. And the king was the law. But thank God in the United States, we have a written constitution and we have written laws, and no one is supposed to be above them. We're all supposed to have access to the freedoms guaranteed by law. And just because people show up with the military in order to tell you telling you not to peaceably assemble is to infringe upon your right. There was a time when Americans understood their own rights and the importance of them. There is an important part that dissent has to play in a democracy. Everybody don't agree with everything, and that's okay. And you should have the right to, and you do under the Constitution, have the right to voice your dissent. But what many are concerned about is the appearance of intimidating approaches that can be interpreted as trying to limit one's ability to voice opposition peacefully. And thank you for that segue, because I'm going to play the clip now. Before the break, I was talking about what happened in California. Now, we're not talking about people who are lawbreakers that just want to come and stir up the pot because they see an opportunity. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the people who are in opposition of what they see as over-aggressive ICE tactics. Go find the people, but do you have to find them at their kids' graduation ceremony on the school grounds while the kid is graduating for elementary school? I don't know if I want to be a part of that as representing my government. I need them to follow the law. I need them to get a hearing, but the immigration system is broken, so they're going to wait years and years to get a hearing to begin with. They're still doing a vital role for many industries, from the roofers, hello South Florida, to the construction sites, hello South Florida, to the day laborers who go out and pick our fruit, pick our produce, the meat packing companies in the Midwest. We're not seeing as many raids in those places. We're seeing them on the coasts. So what we saw in LA were a group of people peaceably last week who started out just in less than 1 square mile, few blocks, according to Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles. And at a press conference yesterday, when we saw one of the most powerful people in the country, a United States Senator named Alex Padilla, who did identify himself during his questioning of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who was in a press conference yesterday addressing the raids that ICE has been carrying out and DHS has been carrying out and the protests. During this press conference, a United States Senator who was in his right to attend began by listening to what she had to say, voiced his questions to her, and was manhandled. You gotta watch the video. Let me not talk. Let me play. I'm gonna cue this up. I'm gonna let you hear the audio of let's about 90 seconds of him being pushed out by the Secret Service that was there during the press conference of the Homeland Security Secretary in LA, addressing once again the raids by ICE and the protests. Well, the United States Senator representing California, Mr. Alex Padilla, was manhandled, forcibly removed from the press conference room, taken to the ground, and handcuffed, knees. That man is not a small man. Buckle him up. Sorry for my Caribbean dialect. This is Voice of the Caribbean. Buckle him up. Tie him up. Hands behind the back style. To the United States Senator. And I ask you, is freedom still free? If people are in opposition of what they see, especially a U.S. Senator whose job it is to oversee other branches of government co-equally. Let me play it. It's moved me in a way that I thought, oh, no. But I'm going to let you hear it for yourself. This is from Senator Alex Padilla, the United States Senator, one of the two from California, being removed from a news press conference with DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. First, you'll hear her talk, and then you'll hear him raise a question, and then you'll hear the scuffle of him being removed. All right, we're gonna let you hear it for yourself. Let me get hopefully I got them ready. Okay, here we go.
Law enforcement officers have been assaulted. They've been pelted with rocks and bricks. Their cars have been set on fire. Molotov cocktails have been used. We have seen people throw bottles and hammers at them. We've also seen.
Okay, I'm just pausing just so I can get you on the right page. If you are just tuning in, Suzette Speaks Show, just talking about the arrest of, he was placed under arrest, but he wasn't arrested. He was placed in handcuffs. Let me make a distinction. They did not, in fact, charge him, but he was placed in handcuffs. The United States Senator from California, after attending or during a press conference with the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, was placed in handcuffs forcibly after asking a question. So she's giving the first part, her comments, and then you'll hear him now.
That they have been attacked and verbally spit on or punched or assaulted, and it's just not acceptable. The Department of Homeland Security and the officers and the agencies and the departments and the military people that are working on this operation will continue to sustain and increase our operations in this city. We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country and what they have tried to insert into this city. So I want to say thank you to every single.
So what you're hearing now is him about to interject with his question after she's giving comments.
Single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk specifically to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles. I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have.
So what you're hearing in the background is United States Senator Alex Padilla, who was being moved, shuffled, manhandled out of the door, out of the press conference room, as the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is giving her statement about where her organization and her department stands as it relates to the protests going on in LA. He was being really forcibly moved. I'm going to read the account from the AP so you can hear how it was being reported. Out of Los Angeles, the Associated Press said Democratic U.S. Senator Alex Padilla on Thursday was forcibly removed from Homeland Security Kristi Noem's news conference in Los Angeles and handcuffed by officers as he tried to speak up about immigration raids that had led to protests in California and all around the country. Video shows a Secret Service agent on Noem's security detail grabbing the California senator by his jacket, now I'm saying shuffle him up now, and shoving him from the room as he tried to speak up during the DHS secretary's event. Padilla interrupted the news conference after Noem delivered a particularly pointed line. I don't know if you guys heard it, saying federal authorities we're not going away, but plan to stay and increase operations to quote unquote liberate the city from its quote unquote socialist leadership. That's when he kind of set him off. That's when he was like, oh no. And he was heard saying, I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary. That's what he shouted. in a very stern voice, scuffling with the officers outside the room. He can be heard saying, "Hands off." He's later seen on his knees and then pushed to the ground and handcuffed in the hallway with several officers on top of him. This is being reported by the Associated Press. The shocking scene of a United States senator being aggressively removed from a cabinet secretary's news conference, this is not normal, y'all, prompted immediate outrage from his Democratic colleagues, as well as the images have went viral on social media. Images and the video of the scuffle ricocheted through the halls of Congress, where stunned Democrats demanded an immediate investigation and characterized the episode as another in the line of mounting threats of democracy by President Donald Trump's administration. Y'all, my time is short. I just wanted you to know what's going on because, again, we have under the Constitution a constitutional right to free speech. One of the law school classes I took was called constitutional law. I had one of the best con law, excuse me, is what we call it in law school for short. I had one of the best con law professors. He had written several books used in all law schools, most law schools around the United States. I actually sat under him and listened to him discuss some of the most consequential cases. And we at length discussed the First Amendment. Y'all have to read the Constitution. Read the First Amendment. Y'all have to read it. Because people will have you believing you don't have rights that you actually do have. You actually do have the right to assemble peacefully. We have to protect that right. And once again, tomorrow is the military parade that is supposedly honoring the history of the United States Armed Forces, the anniversary, I think 250th anniversary they're saying. It also happens to coincide with Donald Trump's birthday. So he's not saying the military parade is for him. Of course, it's to recognize the outstanding men and women of our armed forces and their rich history. No, they're not saying he's going to be on the balcony and they're going to march in front of him, reminiscent of some of the other people that we've seen utilize militaries in not so good ways. Governments who have utilized militaries throughout our history of the world to brutalize their own people. We don't want that here. So we're going to watch. Y'all watch? I'm not watching. There's also a movement against this show of military force in Washington, D.C. The tanks going to be mashing up the streets up there, ruining the people's streets. The taxpayers are going to have to pay to recover from the military parade because they're going to have to fix back because tanks are not meant to be on civilian roads, everyday people's roads. Huge rocket launchers and tanks. We're going to see it on TV. I hope the media does a good job in covering this because this is not normal. I hope the media does a good job in covering this because this is not normal. We're seeing very unsettling images. I can't even get back to some of the stories. Israel has now attacked Iran. Israel has attacked Iran overnight in a surprise attack of several of that country's nuclear sites. It is a real rumble in the jungle, y'all. We hope this does not expand and draw the United States into the conflict, but there is potential of that. And it has rattled the international community to see that Israel, the government of Israel, has now attacked Iran in an unprecedented show of force. And you'll have to read about it because I got to go. Of course, you can catch me at the Juneteenth celebration here in South Florida. Shout out to also City of Miramar having an amazing Juneteenth family day. I'll be attending that. And then I'll be at the Haitian American Democratic Club speaking on Juneteenth. And the theme of that presentation next week, Thursday, is Juneteenth, y'all. But there are events. Check out your calendar. Go on Eventbrite. Let's go outside. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. I hope you're going to be celebrating Father's Day. For those who have lost fathers, we feel you. We also hold their memories in our hearts. I know it's tough for a lot of our friends and family on the Voice of the Caribbean community, within our community, who have lost loved ones, and we remember them. Grandpa, I love you, right? So please celebrate your father in some way, shape, or form. Remember them, honor them. Again, we have a beautiful weekend planned coming up. Will you be a part of the No Kings movement tomorrow during Donald Trump's parade? There's going to be the No Kings parade. That's all I'm going to say, y'all. I got to go. It's been a beautiful show. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll be back next week with more Suzette Speaks Show Live. Lisa B up next. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you listening.
96.1 LP FM Hollywood. You're listening to WZOP 92.7 LP FM Fort Lauderdale.
This is Raise Down Wednesday. Each and every Wednesday starting this Wednesday.
All right, my blood pressure up, but I'm gone. Have a good weekend. Take care, y'all. Thanks for watching.